Nung around 1 nautical mile na kami, ma'am, from Sierra Madre, binutas po ng Coast Guard yung boat, rubber boat namin.
May sinira rin ba doon sa Sierra Madre?
Wala.
Ang mga Chino, wala?
Nagbato lang sila ng mga corals, ma'am.
Ha?
Binato nila ng mga corals yung tao sa taas ng ayungin.
Saan galing?
Sierra Madre.
Saan
Sa rib
galing
nila,
yung
ma'am.
coral?
Sa rib nila.
Malamang sa dagat din natin, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
oo. So, yung Chinese, binato ng
Yes,
binato, yung Sierra.
Mga
Kailan to?
Yun, same day, ma'am, ng nangyaring insidente. Yun po yung nangyari nung nagbanggaan na, ma'am, lahat, ma'am. Umakyat na po kami. Yung naputol na, umakyat na ako sa Sierra Madre. Nung natow na po yung dalawang rib palabas ng ayungin, nag-attempt po kami ng medical evacuation. Yun nga nangyari. Rubber boat. Nung around 1 nautical mile na kami, ma'am, from Sierra Madre, binutas po ng Coast Guard yung boat, rubber boat namin. Chinese Coast Guard.
Alin ang binutas?
Yung rubber boat po, ma'am, yung maliit.
Yung sinasakyan ng Medivac?
Kami, ma'am, sakay kami ng Medevac. First attempt namin. Then bumalik kami sa Sierra Madre po. Kasi butas na yung lulubog. Pagbalik namin ng ma'am, doon na kami nag-stay hanggang sa gabi ng alas 11 ma'am, na
ng gabi?
Aboard na ako sa Philippine Coast Guard, ma'am, vessel.
Doon ka kinuha na ng Philippine Coast Guard?
Hindi, ma'am, kami yung mismong pumunta sa rib ng Coast Guard, then yung rib ng Coast Guard, ma'am, papunta sa barko nila. Mga 20 nautical miles galing, around 20 nautical miles galing Ayungin Shoal, ma'am.
Tapos, pumunta na kayo sa barko ng Coast Guard?
Yes, ma'am.
Tapos
yun na po yung huling...
Tapos inuwi ka na?
Sama na rin yung dalawang boat namin, ma'am. Tinila na rin ng barko ng Coast Guard.
Binutas nila yung sasakyan, pero may sinira rin ba doon sa Sierra Madre?
Wala.
Ang mga Chino, wala?
Nagbato lang sila ng mga corals, ma'am.
Ha?
Binato nila ng mga corals yung tao sa taas ng ayungin.
Saan galing?
Sierra Madre.
Saan
Sa rib
galing
nila,
yung
ma'am.
coral?
Sa rib nila.
Malamang sa dagat din natin, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
oo. So, yung Chinese, binato ng
Yes,
binato, yung Sierra.
Mga
Kailan to?
Yun, same day, ma'am, ng nangyaring insidente.
Kasi sabi mo, 6 a.m. ka dumating, di ba?
Kami, ma'am.
Kayo, 6
Yes,
a.m.
ma'am.
Di kayo nakaalis hanggang 11 ng gabi?
Ay, hindi po, ma'am. Ako, ma'am.
Hindi, kasi di ba 6 a.m. kayo dumating doon? Anong oras kaya yung mga Chino dumating?
Mga 6:10,
O talaga,
6:05, ma'am. Agad-agad.
Sabi mo nga, 5 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. 5 minutes, ganyan.
Anong oras sila umalis?
Nung nahila na nila yung dalawang rib palabas, ma'am.
Mga bandang kailan na yun? Matagal ba kayo? Matagal ba sila ron?
Hindi ko, mga around 1 hour din siguro, ma'am. 1 hour. I-ano ko na lang sa iba, ma'am. Hindi ko nakita yung oras, ma'am, eh.
Siyempre. Pero yung more or less parang isang oras rin yung hinila nila. Tsaka sila umalis.
Yes, ma'am.
I see.
Ay, mag-uumaga na pala. Ay, ano na pala, ma'am? Mag-alas 8 ata. Kasi maliwanag na,
Mataas na yung
ma'am. Yes,
araw.
ma'am.
Oh, ang init-init ngayon.
Yes.
After 1 to 2 hours, nag-alisa na sila.
Yes, ma'am.
After
Sabay-
nung nakuha yung dalawang
Rib. Yes,
yung
ma'am.
dalawang rib.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mula 8 o'clock hanggang alas 11, walang may alam na nandun kayo.
Alam, ma'am, kasi kami ng medevac, ma'am. Nag-attempt kami ng
yung
first medevac.
Pero yung first attempt niyo, anong oras yun?
Around 9 a.m. din, ma'am. 8 or 9 din, ma'am. Agad-agad din, ma'am. Nung nahila na yung dalawang rib, nag-ano rin kami, ma'am, nag-rubber boat din kami. Kasi habulin namin sila. Para,
kahit dugoan
hindi,
ka?
para sa medevac, ma'am. Sama kami sa kanila. Pero hindi namin alam na, hindi ko pa kasi alam na that time na hinihila na pala yung rib natin, ma'am.
Tama. So, bumalik na lang kayo sa Sierra Madre at maghintay kasi wala na kayong choice.
Kasi binutas nila yung
Binutas yung
rubber boat natin, ma'am.
rubber boat.
Yes, ma'am.
So, naghintay kayo, gabing-gabi na, alas 11, halos sa
Alas 7 kami nakaalis sa Ayungin, ma'am. Then, around 11, mag-12 na ng midnight, nakarating kami sa barko ng Coast Guard, ma'am. PCG.
Okay. Okay. May dadagdag ka pa? Anong pakiramdam mo nung panahon na yan?
Wala, okay lang man sa akin na
Okay lang, sige lang.
wala man akong ma'am, yung pinag-alala ko lang kasi yung nawawala yung 2 rib namin.
Tama.
Nandoon yung tropa din na kasama doon.
Yung mga kasama mo?
Yes, ma'am.
Inaalala mo lang yun?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo.
Yan lang, ma'am.
Wala kang nararamdaman na iba? Wala kang sakit o tama maliban sa daliri mong nadali?
Ayos naman na napagaling naman sa hospital. Nagre-recover lang na amoebiasis.
Oo nga, tama. Maraming salamat at
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
apakatindi ng dinaanan ninyo. Back to Senator Risa po.
Yamanak, Madam Chair. So, ibig sabihin, sinaktan na nung mga Chino yung sundalo natin sa Philippine Navy, binutasan pa nila yung rubber boat para hindi siya makatanggap ng medical attention. Ang galing talaga, Madam Chair. Yung opening statement ko po sana kanina, kaya lang ayaw ko ngang i-interrupt si Seaman First Class Facundo. Preliminarily po, kaugnay nung unang agenda natin ngayong araw, at the proper time, maghahabol na lang po ako ng ilang mga tanong sa Department of National Defense tungkol sa ating cyber defense doctrine kaugnay nung Chinese influence operations. Pero kaugnay po nitong ating kasalukuyang agenda, Madam Chair, China's actions at Ayungin Shoal must be condemned repeatedly and relentlessly. As a Filipino and as a senator, I share the hurt and pain of the Philippine Navy over our wounded personnel. China severely violated not only international law, but our human rights. This is unacceptable. Violence should not be committed on our seas. We must push for a de-escalation in the West Philippine Sea. Our security establishment, however, has to be prepared for continuous unlawful escalation by the Chinese government. We have to be prepared for every contingency. What are the probable scenarios? Are we prepared for a blockade by the People's Liberation Navy, Chinese Coast Guard, and Maritime Militia? A blockade of the BRP Sierra Madre? The rules of engagement established by our policymakers have to be very clearly and carefully communicated to the boots on the ground, or on the water in this case. We don't need any misunderstandings or miscalculations. Are our contingency plans aligned with those of our allies? I call on government to put politics and diplomacy consistently at the captain's wheel with the Philippine Coast Guard, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, fisherfolk, and civilian actions. Let us optimize every legal, political, and diplomatic potential to preserve Philippine national interests, security, and peace in the region. Agyamanak, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Do I proceed to my questions, Madam Chair?
Thank you very much. If you will allow, may kasalanan ako eh. Hindi ko napag-oath sa si Jeffrey Facundo, nakimarites na ako kagad. Pero lahat ng sinasabi ninyo, nasa record naman natin at inaasahan ko na lahat ng sinasabi mo ay tama. Pakinalang bigay ng oath, saka sakali hahanapin pa natin sa Secretary, please. Atrasado.
Ma'am, may correction pala ako, ma'am.
Yes, teka muna. Mag-oath man tayo kahit kapraso na lang.
Pitong baril pala yun, ma'am. 7 baril yung nakuha.
Okay, sige. Teka muna, Comsec.
Mali pala yung 5, ma'am. Sorry.
Mayroon po
Kaya nagkakagulo sa addition tayo eh. Okay. Sa Comsec, Dana, please.
Hearsay na lang yung baril sa kanya kasi hindi naman niya alam. I think later, ma'am, we can give a more factual account.
Okay.
On a executive session, sa kanya hearsay na lang yung alam.
Tama. Okay. Hindi rin namin makita, puro video lang pinanood namin. So, Comsec, please, yung... Apa.
Sir Facundo, mayroon po tumayo. Salamat po. Pakitaas po yung kanang kamay. and repeat after me. I state your name. Do hereby swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding. Thank you.
Okay? Ikaw talaga. Sige, maraming salamat. The chair acknowledges the arrival of Senator Tolentino as well. And I believe Senator Risa, Secretary Manalo wants to make a statement so that he can be excused. Is that correct?
Thank you, ma'am. I could stay on till about noontime, if that's possible.
Okay, that being the case, we'll abide by our rather tight schedule. Senator Ontiveros, please.
Yamanak, Madam Chair. And I won't ask any questions that are too specific since national security is involved. First question, Madam Chair. Either of our...
Sorry,
yes, Madam Chair.
This is getting quite disorderly. Kasalanan ko. Si Senator Tolentino, may opening statement po ba? Pasensya.
Wala po, Madam Chair. Sorry for being late.
No issues. Senator Risa, please.
Yamanak, Madam Chair. So either of our good secretaries could take this, please, or both if they wish. What measures is government taking to de-escalate the tension in the West Philippine Sea, Madam Chair? I think Secretary Manalo, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam. Perhaps in response to that, I could also deliver my short statement because it was addressed on that particular point. I just wanted first to thank you, Senator Marcos, for giving us this opportunity. I just want to say that initially the Department of Foreign Affairs, immediately after the aggressive actions just reported on, denounced these actions, and we also highlighted the fact that they led to the injury of Filipino personnel and damage to our vessels. We issued a public statement on this to this effect, and also we also approached the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as their embassy here. We sternly communicated to our counterparts that it was really incomprehensible how the delivery of basic necessities to our troops on the BSP Sierra Madre could be considered a provocation that would justify an increased level of Chinese actions. And so, therefore, we believe their actions only intensified and escalated tensions. And certainly something we should be concerned about. While we have a policy still, as agreed by President Marcos and President Xi Jinping, that we agreed our government should seek to manage our maritime differences and not let incidents define our bilateral relations, it's clear that many of these recent incidents by China are inconsistent with this declared intention. Nevertheless, the Department of Foreign Affairs, in consultation with the National Maritime Council, which by the way met last Friday to look at the issue, we still believed in it's the primacy of dialogue and diplomacy should prevail even in the face of these serious incidents. Though, of course, I admit it's also a challenge. Nevertheless, we will pursue the peaceful resolution of disputes in accordance with international law, specifically the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and the 2016 Arbitral Award. And we have been working hard to bring back China to the table to talk with us to resolve differences on these issues. We have an existing mechanism with China. We call it the bilateral consultation mechanism on South China Sea. We had a working group meeting last week in preparation for what we hope will be a meeting between the bilateral of the BCM, or bilateral consultation mechanism. We hope to be held in early July with our Chinese counterparts, specifically to discuss the recent incidents, but also to see whether we can arrive at some understandings which could help. Understandings, what I mean, some kinds of confidence-building measures, which could hopefully create a basis then for more serious discussions to see how we can address these other issues. We have also been in touch quite intensively with our international partners, many of whom, and in fact all of whom, who share our basic position on the importance of international law, a rules-based order, and we are working closely with them in other fora, including last week, even in the United Nations. We issued a number of statements, and we've received support from a number of countries who agree with us on our approach on the need for respect for a rules-based order, international law, especially in the South China Sea, especially with respect to UNCLOS. So we will continue to pursue these efforts, and also let me just assure the committee and the Filipino people that while we are seeking the approach for a peaceful resolution through international law, diplomacy, of course, we are not blind to the incidents which are happening, and we will ensure that whatever confidence-building measures we achieve, they will be not at the expense of the promotion of our sovereignty, sovereign rights, as well as our rights and jurisdiction in the West Philippine Sea. Thank you very much.
Salamat, Madam Chair, at salamat na pareho na kasama sa measures na tinitake ng gobyerno para mag-de-escalate ang tensyon sa West Philippine Sea, yung dialogue, yung peaceful resolution ng conflict, na kapag kinakailangan, tulad ngayon, lalo na, yung boses ng bansa natin sa dialogue at peaceful resolution na yan ay malakas at mataas pa nga. Dahil din gaya ng pinaalala ni Seaman First Class Facundo, bukod sa ginawa ng China sa kanya at sa ibang mga Philippine Navy personnel natin doon, nakita po naman, Madam Chair, sa videos yung paggamit din ng mga Chino ng siren na nakakarinde sa mga tao natin, yung laser, yung na strobe na para ma-disorient yung ating mga tao, at yung paalala ni Seaman First Class Facundo na may dalawang rigid hull inflatable boats pa tayo at yung mga tauhang nakasakay doon na hinahanap pa rin natin. So, ano ba yun? Practically kinidnap ng mga Chino. So, salamat dun sa pagpapatuloy ng gobyerno nung preferred process natin, at the same time yung malakas na pag-communicate sa China laban sa ginagawa nilang ganitong, sabi nga ni Sec Manalo, incomprehensible at hindi talaga katanggap-tanggap. Sana maging mabunga yung parating na bilateral consultation meeting, bagamat sa ganitong mga aggressive actions mukhang tayo lamang ang interesado sa dialogue at peaceful resolution, at kulang na kulang ang pagpapakita ng China ng ang tawag doon, good faith at the table. Kasunod na tanong, Madam Chair, anong strategic at tactical objectives ang hinahabol ng Chinese government kaugnay ng BRP Sierra Madre at Ayungin Shoal? Kasi baka, depending on our view of what their objectives are, we should give some thought to countering their strategy, Madam Chair.